Did you know that one of the world's largest religious organizations is facing a silent crisis? Jehovah's Witnesses, which for decades seemed like an unbeatable movement, are now facing an alarming decline in the number of followers. What has happened to this organization? Why, in the 21st century, is it dealing with a huge loss of believers? Let's explore the reasons behind this silent crisis, the impact of cultural changes, the new generations that are drifting away, and the role of the internet in this process. Inside the kingdom halls, something is changing. What was once a solid organization with a growing presence is now facing a decline. Meetings continue in the same format as always, but the figures speak for themselves. Attendance has fallen, baptisms have stagnated, and reports of disillusionment have increased. Why are so many abandoning a movement that for generations was considered a spiritual refuge? The answer may lie in the organization's inflexible demands, which were once seen as divine norms, but are now questioned. The rigidity of the rules, the control of the leadership, the lack of transparency, and the overload of devotion are all factors that are generating discontent. The exodus from Jehovah's Witnesses is not only personal, but also structural. Former members, once invisible, now use social media to share their experiences and expose a reality that many were unaware of. They talk about abuses of power, rigid doctrines, and covered-up scandals. These stories are gaining traction and challenging the organization's leadership, once considered unchallenged. In doing so, ex-members are taking on a new role, that of digital shepherds, warning the public about the organization's practices. Young people who grew up within the organization are beginning to question the validity of the doctrines. Many are drifting away, seeking alternatives outside the strict norms of Jehovah's Witnesses. Policies on education, relationships, and entertainment, which were once seen as essential, now seem outdated and incompatible with modern reality. The internet has been a powerful tool in this process. Young ex-members are sharing their stories on TikTok, YouTube, and other platforms, creating a wave of reflection and questioning. These stories are going viral, exposing the lack of emotional support and the rigidity of norms, bringing to light issues that were previously hushed up. The COVID-19 pandemic has also marked a significant turning point for Jehovah's Witnesses. For decades, meeting attendance had been a fundamental pillar of the organization. However, with the pandemic, many people walked away without the constant scrutiny. Virtual meetings, although an attempt to adapt, have given members the opportunity to reflect more freely. The drop in the number of baptisms is proof of this. In 2021, the service yearbook recorded only 171,000 baptisms, a considerable drop compared to 2015, when the number exceeded 300,000. Although the leadership has promoted online meetings as a success, the truth is that many have not returned to this routine. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to stay up to date with more updates on this topic. And of course, share what you think about Jehovah's Witnesses in the comments. The revelation of scandals, especially involving child abuse, has also undermined public confidence in the organization. Countries such as Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States have seen serious allegations that have sparked global outrage. This kind of scandal has deeply impacted the image of Jehovah's Witnesses, accelerating the process of disassociation of members and contributing to growing discontent. Previously, the Watchtower had almost absolute control over what members could access and study. The organization's publications, such as the Watchtower magazine, were seen as authoritative sources, often above even the Bible. The leadership said that in order to understand God's Word, it was necessary to follow its interpretations. However, the internet has changed this scenario. Former members now share their experiences on platforms such as YouTube and TikTok, offering a more complex view of what it's like to be part of the organization. These accounts are spreading rapidly, offering new perspectives on the doctrines and practices of Jehovah's Witnesses, and often provoking doubts among those who still belong to the movement. Another critical factor is the growing resistance within the organization itself. The leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses, which for a long time was seen as incontestable, is now being questioned. The younger generations in particular are distancing themselves from a doctrine that no longer makes sense to them. The leadership tries to control the narrative, but with the internet, this control is disintegrating. The metaphor of sheep and strangers, used by the organization to reinforce blind obedience, is no longer effective. Online platforms offer an alternative, allowing members to see another reality and question the narrative imposed by the leadership. The future of Jehovah's Witnesses is in a moment of profound transition. They will face growing internal opposition, the challenges of new generations, and the spread of criticism through social media. The question that remains is, will Jehovah's Witnesses be able to adapt and regain the trust of their members, or will they continue to face an irreversible decline? Jehovah's Witnesses are at a crossroads, and what once seemed like an unbeatable movement is now being challenged by internal and external changes. The impact of the internet and internal resistance are factors that cannot be ignored. The future of the organization will depend on its ability to adapt to new realities and deal with the challenges of a more connected and informed world. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue following the transformations of Jehovah's Witnesses, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next episodes. And of course, we want to know what you think. Comment below with your thoughts on everything we've discussed today. Your ideas are very important to us. See you in the next video.